In lieu of one student speaker, the graduation committee decided to continue the tradition of a multi-student voice video. Sorry, family and friends, if you don't get all of our social work humor or lingo, but you'll have the opportunity to ask your graduate after the ceremony. Fellow graduates, I'm sorry if I wasn't able to capture your voice or if I had to cut some of your comments short. I did my best to create a video with some good laughs, fair representation, and leave you with a way to remember your time here at the UW School of Social Work over and over and over again. Enjoy.
Networking, cultural sensitivity,
systems perspective,
self-care,
diversity,
intersectionality,
co-sleeping, shout out to Catherine Magnuson,
social emotional learning,
strengths perspective,
strengths-based, radical,
empower,
synergy,
advocacy,
queer,
trauma-informed,
meet them where they're at.
meeting the client where they're at, because it's completely accurate and yet the grammar is completely inaccurate.
When I walked out the fire escape and set off the alarm in the engineering library.
As a football fan from Arizona, I never thought I would actually be at a real-life Snow Bowl. But it happened. At my last college football game ever. And then this happened.
Mara Curtis running up and down the aisle during 606.
When Nick stated his past criminal history, revealed it to the whole class, and everyone was looking around like, what is this guy talking about? And then we're like, this is awesome.
Being accepted into the BSW program, I have loved it.
One, getting accepted into the Bachelor's of Social Work program, and two, getting accepted into the Master's of Social Work program here at the UW.
Going to the radical social work meetings, and there were a couple nights where I just felt like we had a really good discussion, and I left it feeling like I had more questions than answers, but in a good way.
Social work tailgate event for homecoming. It was in October, so I was still new to the program and didn't know that many people, but it was a really cool event and a really great way to meet some new friends.
Driving to school, so driving down University and seeing that the parking lot to social work is full, so you have to park, street parking was only 2 hours, but you kind of go past the 2 hours and hope the parking people don't give you a ticket, and when you don't get a ticket, you're like,
I've been meeting with a particular kid throughout the whole year. And despite the trauma, neglect, abuse that he's experienced, he continues to meet with me and engage, and I can still see the life in his eyes.
My internship has been awesome. Helping people find housing and jobs has just been amazing to see their lives turn around.
Every semester there was always one class that we just found extremely hard, and we had to study for the most, like staying up doing all-nighters. But then that was always the class that we learned the most from, which I really appreciated.
Professor Curtis's class, I just did a lot of direct practice beforehand and never really thought I'd like policy work, and she kind of inspired me to go into policy. I just really liked it, and that's what I'm going to be working on after graduation.
When a classmate saved me from being locked in the bathroom on the 4th floor. Thank you!
I had a lot of great professors in the program. That was probably my favorite part of the program.
Jan Greenberg.
Nick Yakovich. Nick, who's always been there for me.
Nick Yakovich and David LeCount.
Professor Curtis. Although she was really tough, she held us to really high standards.
Mara Curtis.
Dr. Curtis, because she challenged us so hard.
Professor Curtis, and then Eric Locke.
Eric Locke, for all of the time and work he's put into helping me and another students come together to discuss and talk about and act on what we think radical social work is.
Anna Haley Locke.
Joe Glass's class was incredible. He put so much energy and effort into the classes. Andrew Archer this semester, he was new, but really, really informative. I learned so much from him.
I think Tally Moses' 205, that really turned me on to social work.
Tally Moses has really stood out for me because she challenges you to really know what you think about things and defend your position. Susan Kidd Webster and John Borkus were both awesome mentors and people to have for my field professors.
Steve Tupper and John Borkus.
Steve Tupper.
Steve Tupper
and Nick Yakovich.
because they always have the most gangster stories.
Mary for keeping her door open for us throughout the last 2 years.
Jennifer Ginsburg for being an incredible wealth of knowledge and for always supporting her students.
Katie Larson-Claude. I really enjoyed working with Katie Larson-Claude because even when we were burnt out and complaining, she still said she liked seeing our faces.
Eric Block, Mary P., Mara Curtis, Audrey Kahn, and Tally Moses.
Audrey Kahn. Audrey Kahn.
I want to thank Audrey Kahn and Katie Larson-Claude for being fantastic field faculty. They really prepared me and supported me in my field experiences.
Michelle Turner, because I really felt that she was invested in me and helping me to grow professionally and personally.
I was always sweating bullets.
Cold. Very warm in the social work building.
Really cold.
Usually hot in the winter and cold in the summer.
Freezing cold.
Hot.
Social work building was usually too hot.
And I think it was cold.
Depends on if the windows were open or not. I go from being like sweating hot to freezing cold and like needing a hat, but sometimes I was wearing wool socks and my feet would be sweating in class.
Cold, it's always the temperature you don't want it to be.
Always hot, definitely.
I didn't know it got cold in the social work building.
It's always hot.
Definitely hot.
Always hot. Really too hot.
Cold.
Hot.
Our cultural idea of what it means to be late so that I was never late to class.
Solve world hunger.
My wish would be that everyone knew how to do trauma-informed care with kids and they knew what ACEs were.
For everyone to receive education, every person look at the strengths first before they find the weaknesses.
Helping families enhance their protective capacities and keeping their children safe.
I would say big bottle of wine, preferably white, and some chocolate.
Absolutely.
And some like nice calming music, maybe some candles.
I love to work out and go to the gym.
Long walks on the beach.
Watching TV shows like Law & Order and Grey's Anatomy, but especially watching the trashy TV shows like Love and Hip Hop and Mob Wives.
I have a little puppy, he is actually 4, but I still call him a puppy. He's a German Shepherd Pointer, and I take him on walks, I take him on runs, we play catch in the backyard.
To be super organized about everything and to have a ton of lists everywhere.
Either going for walks or writing or taking a nap.
Running.
I love to watch movies, love movies. My favorite movie is Love and Basketball. I know it's kind of old, but that's just me.
Following the person who's videotaping me right now, Elizabeth Mardany, and she was probably the only other person other than me who still didn't have a paper written, so I would commiserate with her.
Lots of sleep.
Hanging out with my animals because it's really hard to be pissed off or stressed out when I'm around my cats and dogs.
Petting the cats. Getting on the lake to kayak or else going out for a run.
Running and then eating cookies. And it has to go together. But no milk because I'm lactose intolerant.
Looking at person, environment, fit, looking at whether a person's environment fits the goals that they have for themselves and whether that environment supports those goals or hinders those goals.
And my favorite pie is blueberry pie.
Pumpkin.
So is it pies and what you eat or person and environments? Because that's a real big difference.
The apple cheddar pie, because this is Wisconsin, there should always be cheese in all of your meals.
Pecan.
I love peach pie. Apple pie.
Well, I was wondering for this question, are we supposed to say person and environment or actually our favorite flavor of pie, which is pumpkin?
I don't like pie.
Hey Diamond, what's your favorite kind of pie?
Y'all know it's my grandma's sweet potato pie.
The intersectionality between my schooling and my social life is about to come to an abrupt end. Woohoo! Go Wisconsin!
I want to thank everyone who I met in the past 2 years because everyone was so awesome and wonderful, and all the professors as well, and we did it! Woo!
Good luck, we've made it this far, and we have a lot more work to do.
Social work has definitely made me a better person.
I would just like to leave everybody with some parting words from my favorite person in all of history, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Whatever you are, be a good one.
Thank you for everything that you taught us. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything that We got to learn and experience in field and in class, but I am really excited to get at least 6 hours of sleep.
Parting words for graduates' families. Stick by us.
Thank you to our families. You put up with a lot. Grad school is tough, and we really appreciate it.
I want to thank my family for being so supportive, and also just all of the other graduates. You guys are all so great.
There's been a lot of late nights. There's been a lot of coffee, and I know the other graduates can really vouch for that with me, and I'm just so happy that we could all do it together. Thanks again, Mom.
I'd like to thank my family, especially my parents, and I'd also like to thank my partner Dan for how many papers you read through of mine, and the nights when you read me the DSM as a bedtime story.
And I want to thank Betsy for putting this video together for all of us to remember.
Stay in the moment and enjoy this moment because it's a perfect moment. You're never going to get it back. So whether you have to sing or dance or scream, just live in the moment and enjoy it. Congrats, everyone.
I came to Wisconsin all the way from Massachusetts thinking that I wanted to do research, I wanted to do zoology, and then I wanted to do neuroscience research, and nothing was just really pulling me. And I think that what I realized was that I really wanted to just make an impact and make a difference. And I really found that in social work. It fit everything, and I really do think that social work is what's gonna change the world.
Congratulations, we did it! Bye! Bye! We did it!